But you don't have the emojis that I have. You don't have the cool coffee cups. Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Real Estate. Shockingly, this is episode 16.
Wow.
It's a Monday morning, February 27th. And we're excited to be here. I've got some fun things. We've got some fun things to dig into and share and kick off the week, get you going for the week. Whatever platform or social media channel you're on, please do us a huge favor and smash the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Our subscriber count on the Wake Up Real Estate YouTube channel is growing, but we've got a goal to get to 1,000 as fast as possible. So we need your help in doing
Tag
that.
a teammate. Tag somebody tag somebody in your office who's not producing. You know, they're struggling.
Yeah. And do so out of love, or if you don't like them, do so out of spite. Who knows? One way or the other. So do all of those things, please, and thank you. Here's the lineup for today. We'll talk a little bit about mortgage rates. I want to highlight a mortgage program that may be applicable for some of you. But where I want to spend, and we'll do some other things, our social media posts of the day, but where I want to spend a little bit more time today is the idea that was in the thumbnail, and it looks like I froze, but okay. The idea that was in the thumbnail, which is smoking hot real estate deals and turning that into an entire growth system. And the idea that came to me, this is not a new idea, but something that reemerged in my head late last week, or maybe it wasn't even until Saturday, that was inspired by Ryan and what we're doing here, and just inspired by the fact that I want to go and create the market a little bit. So we're gonna banter about that, but we also are going to very much encourage and want the feedback from the group here. So we'll be looking for interaction and engagement there as well. Winifred, great arising to you. Good morning, Mike. Happy that you guys are here. Let's go right into mortgage rates.
Yeah.
Check it out. And while Ryan is pulling up mortgage rates, well, there we go. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning.
6.88 30-year, 6.25 15. They went up the last week, right? A little bit. It felt like more than
I mean, the FHA early last week, like Monday, Tuesday last week, it was 6.12. So the FHA, the 30-year FHA for sure.
So what are you seeing out there? You had a special program or something to share with people?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's number one, I think the takeaway is you've got to invest your time and energy into folks that have real motivation, right? A real need for housing or to do something. And number two, be equipped and knowledgeable about how and the best way to get seller credit to buy down rates, right? To understand that objection is going to happen.
Okay.
You're going to get people that are going to say, we kind of put we get these through text pretty frequently. We kind of put the home search on hold with rates the way they are. And the question to ask back is, if we could get you into a rate under 6, let's say, would you still be interested if we could find you the right home, of course?
So
right?
Josh,
That's a great way to put it back in there.
So you're using seller credits to do that now, like the 3 or 6%, whatever FHA allows, or...
Well, that's one way, right? I mean, it's going to depend on the situation and what the borrowers have available, and so forth. But I think that's one way to do it, or at least taking some of that, right? Maybe you can negotiate 6%, and 3 of that is to buy down the rate, and 3 of that is to help with the other closing costs, which is also, I mean, it's kind of like splitting hairs there, or semantics, right?
It's a good tactic, though, because I don't think that's on a lot of people's minds. I mean, it could save a few deals here and there. So just keep it in mind, guys. You can get the objection, try to get the rate bought down.
Well, and here's one other thing I would encourage you to do. If you're being a proactive deal maker in your market, which again, we're going to talk about that, and specifically that the headline here was how to sell more homes as a new agent. And I put new in parentheses because I'm not a new agent, but this is the way what we're going to walk through today was one of the ways I started selling homes as a new agent. It's just a new spin on the idea.
And we have this approach in common. And I'm sitting here today wondering if I should go sell as a new agent in this market. Almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
if
you're restarting.
Well, but what I want to tie in as it relates to getting seller credit and buying down the rate, et cetera, if you're proactively looking for deals in your MLS, one thing to look for is properties that, most likely they're going to have been listed for a little bit of time. And also where there is room between the current list price and the AVM amount, because you could still, you could find a property that is, because they started too high in the price and now they've started to come down, there's still room where you could actually offer over asking, the current asking, and negotiate in seller credit, which you could use to buy down the rate or offset closing costs, et cetera. So that's another angle. And that's a follow-up to, a topic of Friday's episode, looking for, on market, longer listed, vacant properties, things of that nature, of trying to be a deal maker in your market.
There's lots of ways to manufacture a deal. Maybe we can share the social post of the day, because I had a kind of a unique spin on that in my post this morning.
I would love that. That's great. And Lance, while Ryan's pulling that up, Lance, this is a wonderful perspective to have. This market is new, so I am new, 100%. Right? We've got to approach it with new eyes. This market is wildly different than 12 months ago. Wildly.
So I just realized, Josh, just a program note for everybody. We are going to kind of use the Wake Up Real Estate Facebook group, and I'm going to share this post and video into that. So if you're in the Facebook group, you'll be able to see it, because the reason I want to share this one, it's an actual video for me. And what I did was I took a video of a property and called it a Property of the Day. But the interesting thing about this one was it's a Airbnb friendly. It's in an area in my market. They call it unincorporated, where people kind of aren't enforcing any rules around Airbnbs. So I considered it a deal. It's an example of saying, hey, why? You just with almost any property, but what makes this special or unique as a potential deal? So there's a video here. I'm not going to play it now.
Aligns with the topic that I have for today. I love.
Yeah, well, that's why I did it. I saw your thumbnail.
Yeah.
So guys, check that out in the Facebook group. But basically, you could do this almost any day of the week as a social post of the day. Find any property, try to figure out what makes it interesting, or if you have an idea the other way of, an interesting set of properties, and just take one of those listings and do a quick video about it. Pretty simple stuff.
Yep, totally. All right, so real quick, I want to cover a couple of things, and then I want to turn this into more of a conversation amongst Ryan and I, and the folks who are joining us here as well. So real quick here, I wanted to highlight two things. Number one, some encouragement for everyone, or I don't know, encouragement, maybe not. But I posted this morning, and this is also what I had shared with my kiddos, which is that you don't need motivation, you need discipline, right? Discipline creates habits, habits create results. If you're waiting to be motivated each and every day, motivation runs out, okay? Motivation runs out, and you've got to have the discipline to create the habits and to stick with those habits even when things aren't going well. I wanted to point out one, I'm actually going to do a little video on this, but this is another mortgage program that I wanted to make you aware of. It's a non-QM product. This just happens to be one of the lenders that offers this product, but we have many for an ITIN program. In other words, an individual taxpayer identification number program. And you can do a purchase or a refi.
Wait, what does that mean? Is that for business owners or for W-2?
Yeah, so it's for folks who are not U.S. citizens, but they have an individual taxpayer ID number.
Got it.
Yep. So and whoops, there we go.
What's up, kids?
So up to 80% LTV, scores as low as 620. Gifts, funds, and gift equity available, 40-year fixed with 10-year interest only option. They don't have to do that.
So
But
international.
we're seeing that more and more.
If I were going to market this, I'd say mortgage programs for international lender.
Yeah, totally. So if, for example, that there's a lot of, depending on your state and your market, that may be more common. And for you to be aware that those programs exist, and you can use that in your marketing, or at least just having the knowledge base so that when you're having those conversations, you can point them in the right direction.
I'm thinking here in Florida, that would be big. And I'm thinking about an ad campaign down in Brazil, for example, for you Florida agents, or just in South America where people are coming in from all the time. You run the ad down there. Hey, we have programs for, yeah. Interesting.
Lance says results create motivation. And though I agree with that, I think if you look at anyone who has long-term success, they're way more obsessed with the process than the results, and being disciplined to the process. For example, Ryan and I here, we've got to stay disciplined to the process of doing this show if we want to grow this channel and continue to provide value and feedback to the audience, regardless of the results, right? Because if we go and look at how many people viewed last week's shows and we're just focused on that, it may distract us from the process of knowing that if we do this for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we will win in the long term if we create the discipline and the habit, or when we create the discipline and the habit of this every day and sharing what we're doing to help others as well. So I'm not disagreeing, Lance, but just the results provide the positive feedback to keep you, to give you a little boost in the willingness to own the discipline of the process, right?
But you got to be crazy enough to keep going, even if you're not getting paid. I don't think that's what separates the successful business owners from the ones who aren't. That craziness.
And the tricky thing in our industry, I think, is there are lots of people that will try to convince you that their process is a good one or the best one. And if they don't have the proof behind it, you can end up creating the habit or the discipline or the process that won't get you where you want to go. So making sure that you're following the right plan of action or the right plan of action for you is also critically important as well. Speaking of which, that's a perfect tie-in to us talking about how to sell more homes as a new agent. And here's the idea that popped up for me. Again, this is not new, but this was just like, it was a confluence of things where I was like, just had an aha late last week. And I'm going to start executing on this idea tomorrow morning. Now, I'll explain why I'm not going to do it today. Okay, there's an actual, there's a business specific reason. But the idea is this. Creating and this is one of the things I want feedback from from the audience around. I don't know if it's going to be a smoking hot deals list, a Best Buy list, deals and steals. I don't know. But for those of you that, if you've been following any length of time or you're in my organization, one of the habits or the disciplines that I think, that I sort of, put my foot down and say, this is a non-negotiable, is a Friday email to your entire database. Okay. And we've got an entire process for that. We'll get that added to the comments. We'll get that added to the description if you want to see that. What I am doing is adding a second weekly email to my entire database. And the idea is going to be simply featuring 3 to 5 properties as my deals of the week. Again, and so one of the things that I want to get clarity around here as we sort of mastermind and brainstorm a little bit on this session is what I'm going to call that. And the way I'm going to share that is by recording a screen capture video. So I'm going to be in the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm just going to have my MLS open, and I'm going to have the featured 3 to 5 properties, and I may even have the street view of those properties open so that we can look at pictures and also feel like we're taking a little mini tour. And I'll spend 1 minute to 2 minutes on each property. So we're talking a 5 to 10 minute video that only is being shared privately with my email database. And two reasons why. Number one, that creates the opportunity to get more people opting in for that information. It's insider access, insider information. Number two, I know that in my market, no matter what rationale I use, if I start sharing other people's listings and I put that whole thing out on social media, it will take about a week before I get somebody yelling at me or before I get a call that I don't want to get, as dumb and idiotic as it could be, because I could literally do this by pulling up the Zillow listing information and do the same thing, which is available everywhere. But I think there's something to, I'm going to take that and turn it into a positive thing. So and the reason why I'm choosing Tuesday is it's a nice break between Friday, but also I can verify Tuesday morning that the properties haven't gone pending from the weekend. So the properties because I already have a list of 5 that I've already identified that I want to include, but I'm going to double check that they haven't gone pending tomorrow morning. And the reality is, if they do go pending, it's not a big deal because that creates scarcity, right? When someone asks about that, oh, you know what? We missed out on that one. But let's make sure that doesn't happen again. What specifically are you looking for? So I can be on the lookout for you, right? So that can turn into a good thing. So Ryan and our audience here, I would love your thoughts, your comments. I would love to hear, what you think is a good tagline for it or catchphrase for it. And any other thoughts or ideas. And then I also want to talk about how to use that to market and grow my database.
Yeah.
And ways to do that.
I'll start. I'll let other people comment, but yeah, a deal of the day kind of has a nice ring. If you could do something alliterative with your name, nothing's coming to me off the top of my head. Shanley's.
So the deal of the day, right? Like this is one of the things that I was thinking through this weekend. Is this something I should do every day? And then I thought, well, if I'm emailing every day, that might become a little bit over the top, right?
You can call it the deal of the day and not do it every day, but I'm thinking I'm going to try to do one every day. Now it could be a screencast, but I'm also thinking that for a new agent, especially in order to really get the know to market and really provide value to people, you need to be able to shop for deals yourself and know what they look like. And the only way you're going to do that is by getting out there and touring some properties. So that
was one of the questions we've already gotten. So that's a perfect parallel.
At least once or twice a week.
Take this conversation.
Yeah, at least once or twice a week. Get into a property. Ideally, take a video of it. Focus on vacant stuff if you want. Because again, you're creating the market. You're brokering stuff that might not seem like a deal a minute ago. You're going to the property and saying, "Oh, wait a minute. There's a 3rd bedroom here. It's listed as a 2." And you're only going to see that stuff if you go through. So
that is a perfect example. So this is, both of us did similar things to grow our businesses years ago, 2005, 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
And it was around some of this idea, weekly Best Buy or Best Buys of the week concept. And that very example, I sold several homes because I was the one telling my audience, it says it's a 2-bedroom, but really there's a 3rd bedroom here. It's just the listing agent. Oftentimes it was REO listings where the listing agent just didn't care. They just took the tax database info, right? So, but being that, having that insider knowledge that you will only get by seeing it in person. Now, I am going to at least start by doing it. I'm not going to tour all 3 to 5, let's say.
No, you can't.
Up front. Yeah. Right. But if you can weave it into your daily practice, right? So like I've got an eye doctor appointment later today, and I may schedule a quick tour nearby that office, right? Of one that kind of was on my short list to check out, right? So
don't forget, we're going to go all over the place here and we need to tighten this up, but don't forget about land too. If you do need a video,
totally,
you could always go just take a quick little video on a lot. And I know you've done a lot around land. But I think that the important thing here is to get in the mindset of I'm going to go find a property that I would like to buy or that I would tell my brother to buy. And then I'm gonna make the case for that property, but then I'm gonna share it with my intimate list of whatever it is, 100 people who are on my email list, and really good things start to happen.
Yeah, we're getting some great
Let's
comments and tips below. So, okay, so some questions and some things I want to point out. All right, so regardless of what name I come up with, you'll have to tune in tomorrow to see what I call it. Right? That's a perfect tease.
Josh's joints.
Josh's John's. Anyway, that's shoes. That's shoes. Anyway, so Lance says, how about tease it publicly and deliver in your private list? So that's the wonderful thing here as well. This becomes its own growth system. And one simple way to tease it publicly is a little short video loop of the video that I'm going to send to the database with some teaser copy. And to get instant access, go here. And when they opt in, they immediately get the most current, Best Buy or whatever we're calling it. Go ahead, Ryan.
Every Best Buy video is its own kind of landing page with a call to action to get future videos and deals. So just for context, I've had this page set up for forever. You're gonna, what it starts to look like technically is you have something like this. Maybe it's a video view. This is a KV Core lander. But every piece of content you do when you upload a deal video to YouTube, so to speak, you're driving here. And there's a good example of that from my social post of today in the Wake Up real estate group, if you guys want to check that out, of the actual practical implementation.
The idea is you have a finite process or set of ways that you can add people to this database. And it's a landing page. It's a smart code, text deals to 717-510-1452 to get notified. And then the reply is, what's the best email for us to send you the deals? The smoking hot deals of the week. I think I might, I know that's a mouthful, but I don't, that might be what I end up doing.
And it's a pattern interrupt.
Yeah.
It's a pattern
interrupt. It's smoking hot deals of the week, and I'll even put emojis like on fire. We'll see. I don't know that that's where I'll land with that. But the idea being, you create this discipline or habit of finding deals. You share them privately with your database, right? Your asset that you're building, and then you use many different you test different ways to get people into that database, right? And you create
traffic
content. Traffic sources, Craigslist, Facebook, right? On your personal profile, on your business page, sharing it to groups,
letters to investors in your area. There's so many ways to.
Yeah, go and find cash buyers in your market and send them a postcard with thanks.io. Get my smoking hot deals of the week. Go here or text deals to this number, and we'll add you to the list.
Here's the good news, Josh. This page, not this particular page, but this offer, you and I both know with like 15 years of certainty and thousands of dollars spent, this offer converts to everybody. Totally. Buyers, people, homeowners. This is a really good funnel for generating listings because the homeowner down the street will opt in for this because everybody treats real estate as a make money kind of thing. It's health, wealth, and relationships. It's a wealth kind of category.
And this is an example of a KV Core landing page, right? And on that, you can only do email and cell phone. And if you make the cell phone optional, but you let them know, and provide your cell phone number so we can give you priority notification, or we'll text you our deal of the week every Saturday at noon. Whatever that promise is, you can include that in on that page and part of that process. Now, here's a great question, whether it's a new agent or not, is how do you select your deals? How do you select your deals?
You got it. I think you need to sort of work on becoming a savvy real estate investor, even if you're faking it till you make it. Yeah. You've never invested in real estate before. So you start reading books, you start asking other agents, you do everything, it's.
and here I'll give you some very specific tactical things that I was doing this weekend to try and identify some deals on market. Look at what is that?
Michelle picked this book up for me. It's like from 1977. It's
and
really
I bet
good,
it's great.
actually.
Yeah, I bet it's great. So here's how I a couple of different ways. Number one, I've actually been getting emails from other agents in my market, reverse prospecting emails on listings, not new listings, but listings where, you know, they've had several price drops. And I am this person. I have a listing where we keep dropping it. We can't get an offer. And I'm following up with folks that match that. So I am that person as well. So that's one way. You know, I got a couple. Right. I've got a couple recently where then I went and looked in the MLS. They've had several price drops, right? Or one was actually a builder, and the agent for the builder has sent it out several times. Well, my guess is that builder may be willing to negotiate. That builder may be willing to offer seller credit, whereas, you know, a year ago, builders weren't going to do that kind of stuff, right? Because they got people beating down the door to, you know, to buy them. Another way, we talked about this last Friday. So go listen to episode 15 from Friday, whatever day that was.
It was
February.
Cocaine Bear Day.
Cocaine Bear Day. There you go.
It doesn't have a date anymore. It's just Cocaine Bear Day. Look up the day Cocaine Bear came out.
Anyway, and what I talked about there was you can search for vacant properties. And so if you search for vacant and you also layer on been listed 30 days, 45 days, 60 days plus on market, there may be a good deal there.
Search the keyword motivated in your MLS or in your IDX. That's a good
one.
Or
offers.
Yeah.
Offers. Right? Because sometimes agents will put, you know, bring all offers. I've done that before years ago, you know.
Josh,
so
just to put a point on that though, every single property in your MLS is a potential deal at the right price.
Right.
So you can almost talk about what's cool about that property and just leave it open. It's like, you know, if we can get the right price, this would be a great rental property. So yeah, don't let that be a limitation.
This is great. Chris says Shanley shares his smoking hot deal. I was just gonna say Josh's smoking hot deals, but I like that too. Daphne said that in her market we've had builders drop prices by 100,000. Yeah, I mean there are definitely prices dropping.
What an awesome $100,000 price reductions or more.
Yeah,
if you put that on the landing
or
page,
if it was 97,000, right? The more specific, right? Even as well. Expired shows motivation, absolutely. So one thing I was going to highlight here is my smoking hot deals. They may not always just be on market deals. In fact, I had a virtual pre-listing appointment on Friday for a seller. She's trying to decide if when she moves out, she's moving in with her significant other. She's trying to decide if when she moves out at the end of May, is she going to rent it or sell it? Well, I could include that in my smoking hot deal of the week. And the story around that is, if you want to be in this neighborhood, we could potentially get you in and not have to compete against the market. Now, you're going to have to wait a couple of months. You're going to have to be patient. But, you know, there are any number of ways. It's your list. It's your list. So you can put whatever you want. And they don't have to be cheap properties, right? There's nothing that says that. It could be a $1.5 million property that just dropped to 1.24. Okay. And I like the 3 to 5 idea because I can include a variety. Because my email database currently is a little all over the place. It's first-time buyers, it's investors. I've even got some people that have opted in for luxury. I've gotten people that have opted in for new construction offers. So I want to kind of hit those different points. And I also want to hit the different geographic pockets, right? Because, you know, I've mentioned I'm in Central PA, Cumberland County, Dauphin County, Perry County, York County. That's all in my sort of market coverage area. But it's, you know, that it's a large geographic region, and someone looking in Dauphin County oftentimes is not interested in Cumberland County, and someone interested in Perry County oftentimes is not interested in York County. So Josh, picking different areas and so forth.
Do you think you would be better served to really focus in on that? You know, even if it was just your, you know, within 5 miles of your house, whatever that neighborhood is, Cumberland County or whatever, and
That's
limit
a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. The problem for me in doing that is there is so little inventory right now that if I did that for myself right now, it would be hard for me to come up with, you know, a reasoning behind the smoking hot deals.
You could focus it around a type of property like smoking hot multis or something like that. And remember, you're not excluding everything else, but going in a tight geo, if you're doing this to get more listings, which I actually think is the bigger reason to do it, strangely enough, you know, because you want homeowners to opt in. Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, no, what your point is incredibly valid and something, you know, riches in niches, right? Riches in niches. So I'm going to get started with it. And then what I may find is that the interest of the audience is more around these types, which then will drive it to be more focused toward that, right? But I'm going to get the car going and I can steer it once I've got it moving. Now, if you're starting from scratch, I definitely think there is something to, you know, whether it's your smoking hot new construction deal of the week or your smoking hot multifamily deal of the week.
I think multifamily is a great one because nobody else wants to go there. You know, that gives you a lot of focus. You become the authority on any multifamily income property in your area. And realistically, you can do that because there's only going to be a handful at any given time. So.
And anytime we talk about niches, you know, so Lance had a great question here. Run with one niche for how long and then switch? You know, I don't know, right? Because the market is changing. The market, you know, is all over the place. And the other thing I would say about focusing on a specific niche is it doesn't mean you're saying no to all other clients, right? It's what you're going to when you're actively marketing with your time, your energy, and your money, you're going to put more towards that niche. But you're going to, it comes to conversations and relationships. And, you know, if someone asks you to help them buy whatever, you're not going to say no, right?
I did this in Philly, like the whole REO bank owned thing. And I remember I probably had a 50-50 split between investor deals and just like regular residential. And I remember like friends and people asking me, like, well, would you be willing to do like just a house I'm going to move into? Like people, they think you're that guy, but of course they want you to work with them because they like the energy you're putting out on your niche. So,
So one last thing, and then I'm gonna answer this question. Then we're gonna wrap it up, and then tomorrow I'll show you what I've come up with so far. So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. How are you delivering the video? Question mark, sponsored to your list? Question mark. So my plan right now is it will be a bomb screencast video that I send embedded in an email with. The video will show all of the deals, and then there'll be links to each one with a little blurb about each one. And then, you know, a Dean Jackson style super signature for people that, you know, have whatever that, you know, those deals don't fit, but they might want some other information or detail. I don't know what you mean sponsored to your list. I don't know if that means, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I'm going to email it to people that have opted in to receive communication from me. And then I'm going to use it. I'll spend the other 6 days of the week to make sure that next week I'm sending it to a larger group of people than I do tomorrow.
And Josh, I want to share, I'm thinking the other way on that. I'm thinking of making every video public on a YouTube channel, the way we're doing here. But I'm also less worried about agents complaining. I'm just going to be careful about giving credit to the listing agent as I did in the video today. But those kinds of questions, don't let them limit you. You can do it. Just get the video online somewhere and send it.
Yeah. Lance said, how about an unlisted YouTube video?
For 100%. Sure.
It's totally fine. Totally fine.
Yep.
One of the reasons why I'm thinking I'm going to use BombBomb is I can strategically then see the people not only who opened the email, but who watched the video.
Are you going to use Core Video, like the BombBomb integration through KB Core, or BombBomb itself?
I don't know. I haven't decided.
It's okay. I don't work there anymore. It's fair to say the thing's a little clunky if you want to.
It doesn't. Well, and it doesn't give you as much functionality. I don't think.
Yeah.
So, So I think because I already pay for a regular BombBomb subscription, I think I may do it there. But you'll have to stay tuned tomorrow to see
that other CRM that I was telling you about that we might share with people, they have that built in. I don't know about the analytics.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Lance made a great point. Go give credit to the listing agent and go public with the videos. That sounds like that's what Ryan's going to do. Maybe eventually I will, or maybe eventually I'll ask for permission. I just know people like agents, whatever. I don't understand why they are this way. I just know that I've had this happen too many times where even though I am sharing something that is publicly available on my website and they can go and find on Zillow, whatever, people get all bent out of shape. Listing agents get all, you shared my listing, blah, 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 blah. Well,
I've had this idea. Maybe we'll do it now, Josh, like badlistingagents.com, and literally just post the name of the listing agent who's upset that like you want to send a letter to the seller and say, like this guy's telling me not to get exposure for your property. Doesn't he have a fiduciary responsibility? You're going to fire me up here, Josh. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a responsibility to let me market this? It's insane. And it puts us all in danger. Now, the public, this is the reason why the public has low opinion of real estate. These kinds of things,
right. This way of thinking of like, let's try and hide. Like I literally had a conversation with a buyer agent a couple of weeks ago. And I left feeling like this guy really wishes we were back in the days where the MLS was a book that got printed every week. And that is not what's best for the consumer. Let's be honest. Help. I found you on YouTube. Now I'm back. Where do I find, where do I go daily to find that? On YouTube, go to,
just go to wakeup.realestate. And we've got the running list of all our videos on the homepage of wakeup.realestate.
Wakeup.realestate, or just go to Google and search Wake Up Real Estate, and we pop up there. And you can. And
there's this is a quick programming note, Josh. We might go a little long today. There's also a link to join the conversation on Facebook up top, and the running list of all our videos, these episodes, and any tips and stuff will be right here. Josh has a great one that you posted today.
That will go live later today. We scheduled that one out to go live later today, which is taking our social media post of the day and going a little bit, taking it a few steps farther and documenting, the sharing process and how we leverage local groups to generate free leads.
Gotcha. Wake up.realestate. All right, Josh, I'll stop talking. Let's wrap this up. Let's get to everybody's comments and go.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's take it to par. I'd love to have every agent in my market pushing my listings. 100%. It doesn't make any sense. Now, Lance pointed out, what about poorly marketed listings, bad pictures, old pictures, etc., or pointing out the flaws of the listing? Yeah, I get that, but it's still getting exposure, right? And it's still like you're still creating more exposure, and exposure leads to showings, which leads to offers one way or the other, So, I guess I get it on some level, but
I would never criticize a listing agent's marketing, like in my marketing, if that, there's code of ethics stuff around that, but definitely, right. I mean, I think what Lance is saying,
it would be obvious to the person if the pictures are bad, but you don't have to point it out,
You could say something like, oh, the pictures don't do this justice. I think that's where Lance is probably going with that.
Yeah, exactly. And then Winifred is with Michelle on that, taking it to par. So tomorrow I will show you what I came up with and how I executed on this idea, version 1.0, and what that looks like a month from now. I'm sure will be a lot different, but we got to start somewhere. And if you need or want help executing on an idea like this, join the community, hop in, ask for help, and we'll see how we can do it. I think it's going to be Josh's smoking hot deals of the week. And then, I'll use the dating, and I'm going to follow a similar framework. I'll just tie one last thing in. The Friday email has a naming structure that is similar. It's the Central PA bucket list, and it's things to do this weekend in Central PA. And I don't want it to be too long, right? So you got to have it, short enough, but communicate the thing. So tomorrow we'll share that. It's also Texting Tuesday, so we'll dive into a text script that you can use. And for those of you interested, we actually I've got a mastermind, a Zoom mastermind happening in 20 minutes. If you're watching live here, every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we do a Monday marketing mastermind. And today's topic is for sale by owners and how to get listings from for sale by owners. Which actually I spent the time before we went live here, I was actually calling and texting for sale by owners from my phone. And if you're on the YouTube channel, I actually published a little short video this morning on how to use the Zillow app to find for sale by owners on your phone. So simple and easy, and a great free way to, do some prospecting.
Do you ever sleep, bro?
Not enough sometimes. Sometimes more than others. But so follow along there. If you want to join the Monday Marketing Mastermind, it's growwithjosh.com/huddle. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We'd appreciate
I'm putting a plug
that.
down. I'm putting a plug down at the bottom just because it is working really well. Expirematic.com.
And
it's interesting.
That was so great. Your Facebook share. If you don't follow Ryan on his personal Facebook page, there was a callback to 2010, I think, to when we first had that domain name, and we're doing, a sort of had a process for expired listings, and it's way more evolved and advanced now, and much easier. If you haven't checked it out, check it out at expiromatic.com.
Yeah, and there's my Facebook for anybody who wants to follow me. That is definitely a Facebook vanity domain that I did when I was like 22 and probably had some bourbon going, but it is there.
It is.
All right.
It is what it is. Thanks for spending some time with us on a Monday. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with others. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, do us a huge favor, subscribe, rate, and review. We'll be back tomorrow. And until then, get after it and bring back some wins tomorrow too.
All right. See you.